Hello, my name is Libby Brown, and I am going to be presenting on the American Dream, and the party that I chose was the Republican Party. The American Dream was the 40th President of the United States. President Ronald Reagan was an advocate for the Republican ideals, and he too was a strong Republican, and it showed through his office, through his campaign, through everything that he did as president. And one of his famous quotes that said during that he delivered at his first inaugural address on January 20th of 1981, "Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem." The Republican Party was thought to have formed hundreds of years ago, along with ancient philosophers and political regimes that practiced forms of the Republican Party but was not fully republic. And let's just jump into the history of it. The Republican Party began with Polybius, Aristotle, and Plato. Most importantly, Polybius was the original thinker of the political doctrine. He believed that res publica was a public thing or public business, so therefore the government is acting in the best interest of the public. He was incarcerated in Rome, and he looked at the design of their government structure and believed that they had the key to have the right government. Even though no man-made structures are meant to last forever, the Romans did it correctly, and they had the best form of government. In this, the mixed government, neither one, neither many, and neither few held this power. So neither one was a monarchy, neither many was a democracy, and neither few was an aristocracy. Therefore, all forms of government cannot work. So a combination, a mixture of these governments were in order to create a perfect republic. And therefore, in a republic, the government is free of self-interest. And when it's implying self-interested people, this means corrupted people, and when they are acting in their own self-interest, they're being greedy and they're trying to make the government in their own preservation and trying to create wealth for themselves. So they're trying to get the most amount of power, and therefore the republic needs to be free of these corrupted people. The Renaissance really kicked off the Republican Party with a rebirth and revival of the Western culture, and so the thought was that they are living freely and fully. And Machiavelli, even though he had a lot of disdain toward the Republic in his discourses on living, he promoted a system of checks and balances. So he disliked the corrupted people. So in this system of checks and balances, corrupt people would not endure and would not sustain or maintain their power in a republic. So continuing on in the Republican Party evolution, civil war erupted in England in 1642. This was a fight between King Charles V and Parliament, and the fight was intentionally meant to understand who was sovereign and who was an authority over the land. Was it the monarch or was it the Parliament, the government? So later on in 1776, America signed the Declaration of Independence, which signified the departure from England. England had the Revolutionary War, and in that case, the colonies became independent and thus created a new nation. A political ideal that is seen greatly in republicanism is conservatism. Conservatism and republicanism have both affected each other in one way or another. Conservatism is a political ideology that holds true to traditions and values of a society. And conservatism is seen hesitant in change. It does not want to change with either rebellion or times of transition. It will hold true to those intrinsic values and traditions, and thus it does not like to change. Republicanism is almost the same way. It is a political doctrine that the government is for the common good of the people, and the republic is governing for the will of the people, solely for the people, and the government is seen as a necessity as people can become engaged in the political circumstances of the government. The American dream is seen as the national ethos of the United States. It's basically an intrinsic value imprinted on all Americans that each person can and will achieve their goals and can become whoever they want to be in the American society. For instance, a person is not born into a specific status, a specific wealth, or anything of that nature. A person can be born into a very impoverished family and can grow their societal mean and wealth and education just by the American dream. So, for example, if someone is born poor and they want to become a doctor, the American dream allows that, and like someone can become a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, anything of that nature. In other societies, people who are not, they do not have that, like they are born a farmer and they will always be a farmer. So that is the difference between the American dream and other societies. In republicanism, man is by nature a social animal, said by Aristotle. Man wishes to be a part of the political affairs of his community, and republicanism allows for the voices of the people to be heard within the government. And by Abraham Lincoln in 1863, he said it perfectly: the government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. Thank you.